Welcome back. The board that oversees the Defense Department's new cybersecurity supply chain requirements has a new leader. That board says it's listening to contractor feedback to chart its course forward. Karlton Johnson is chairman of the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification Accreditation body. Mr. Chairman, welcome. Karlton, thanks for coming on the program. What do you see as your role in guiding this body moving forward, sir?
Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity to tell our story. I want to just say that I want to call out thanks for all the people who've been helping us move this forward. Sitting in this role, my main job is to make sure that I'm standing up this organization to be successful over time and space, to make sure that we're able to deliver the capabilities that have been asked about from us, from the Department of Defense, and also from our constituents.
Who are your constituents? Are they only in the Defense Department side? Are they in the industry side? How are you thinking about that concept of constituency?
Excellent question. And for the moment, based off of the statement of work that we have with the government and our no-cost contract, our primary focus is the defense industrial base, so people who exist within the DIB supply chain. That said, DoD has had conversations with outside entities, other governmental organizations, so I'd expect CMMC to expand beyond those borders over time, but my focus right now is the DIB.
How are you listening to the DIB and using the information that they give you to make this program more effective for them and more effective for the department?
Through a couple ways. One, we have a series of town halls that we've been implementing. We've had one a month since September, or I should say since December, and we are going to continue to gain and provide input through those mediums. Additionally, we work hand in hand with the government to communicate and educate what our requirements are in terms of being able to sustain this capability and to get their requirements to deploy it forward. Lastly, to get the information from the DIB, we've supported working groups over the last year, and we'll continue to do that as well. So a lot of opportunity coming forward to communicate and educate and get input from the DIB.
I quote from FedScoop a few days ago, the foundation of the CMMC will see some coming changes, its leaders said recently. What are those changes that are coming and how will they impact the DIB?
So over the last few months, we've done a few things to deploy this capability we've talked about. We've issued out approximately 1,600 registered practitioners. Those are consultants or advisors who can help companies get ready for CMMC. Registered practitioner organizations, about 400 or so. And the big piece, the certified third-party assessors, the C3PAOs, about 400 of those have been registered. And so all of those are in work to help move this ecosystem forward. That said, we're deploying some additional things to include licensed training partners and licensed publishing partners. And those are the people who will help us to create and identify additional instructors and content so that the entire ecosystem will have learning material to prepare for CMMC. The last piece is what they're calling the CAICO within our contract. Not able to talk much about that right now. It's still a work in progress, but the CAICO will be separated out before the end of the year, and we're still defining how that will look with the DoD.
What are the timelines that the members of the Defense Industrial Base need to be aware of for hitting some of these marks that you're laying out, Karlton?
So we are adhering to the Department of Defense timeline. Pretty much the contracts that they have identified and issued and will continue to issue, we run right behind that so that we have the right capabilities and competencies available to meet that demand. So everything that we're doing is based off of both the DoD schedule and the industry demand for this requirement. And we are going to remain agile and flexible to adjust to that.
The broader message that I take away, Karlton, from your selection as chair and from the timeline that you're just laying out is this is something the Defense Industrial Base needs to get used to, isn't it? There was a conversation kind of under the radar screen, you probably heard it too, where companies were wondering, is this really going to stick around? Is this something that the previous administration came up with that the new administration will decide not to move forward with? This is something companies really need to understand they need to move forward with, isn't it, sir?
Well, absolutely. And as SolarWinds has shown us, cyber attacks are non-partisan. They don't care which side of the fence you stand on. The adversaries are looking at getting that content. And so I look at that as a United States issue versus a partisan issue. That said, I'm certain that the next administration, and the ones subsequent to that, And the one subsequent to that will be focused on cybersecurity, because this is one of the most important things that we need to do to strengthen the U.S. not only supply chain, but us as an American nation to move forward.
I will steal a word from the title of your organization, and that's maturity. Is there a point where this operation, where this process becomes mature and maybe self-perpetuating, or is this something that evolves over time and that the requirements that companies will have to meet evolves over time?
I think it's the latter, and I'll caveat that by saying over time is basically we do want to reach a certain level of maturity, meaning that the entire defense industrial base has a level of cyber readiness that allows us to be successful at a basic level, basic hygiene. That said, because the adversary is agile, because the threats change, we're going to mature to a certain level. When those conditions change, we'll have to reset. And hopefully that reset, if we do this right, that reset won't be as painful as it's been in the past.
Karlton, thanks very much for joining me this morning. It's great to have you with me.
Thank you.